Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go, this is Valley News Live at 5.
While the coronavirus pandemic has disrupted many of our eating and fitness routines, local health experts say it's taken a larger hit to area athletes, triggering eating disorders at both the high school and college levels. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter, Bailey Hurley, talked with one local dietitian today on the warning signs to watch out for and how you can help.
Going from 5 to 6 workouts in the gym per week to nothing after COVID-19 hit. Sanford dietitian Kelsey Herrick says many local athletes were left trying to compensate.
Athletes feel like I don't really have a control, so I need to control other areas in my life, like control what I'm eating or control my exercise.
Herrick says some athletes have turned to binge eating and bulimia, while others have done the opposite.
Some athletes will want to restrict because they feel like, well, I'm not really moving, I'm not as active, so why do I need to eat more?
She says because eating disorders can impact both your physical and mental health in the long term, it's important to get help as soon as possible, saying it's crucial for friends and family members to pay close attention to the warning signs.
Do you feel guilty after eating something? Do you feel like you need to compensate for eating a particular food? Do you feel like you need to go exercise more, maybe eat less, during another time of the day? Does it really just feel like that food has a control over you?
Herrick says because COVID-19 has forced many families to spend large amounts of time together, many athletes have come through her door because family members picked up on their unhealthy habits.
So maybe you're seeing somebody is taking a lot smaller portions, or maybe they're trying to get out of a meal too.
She adds just because someone has never had a bad relationship with food or exercise before doesn't mean they can't develop one.
Just by looking at somebody, you can't tell if they have an eating disorder. Eating disorders don't discriminate on age, gender, race. It can affect anybody.
In Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
For more resources on eating disorders and where you can find help, head to our VNL News app and click on this story. Let's take a look at the COVID-19 numbers in our area. In Minnesota, the Department of Health is reporting 414 confirmed cases of COVID-19, along with 8 new deaths linked to the illness. In total, over 1,700 deaths have been attributed to the disease. Over 63,000 people are listed as recovered. In North Dakota, there are 234 new cases and 1 new death in the state. The death toll now sits at 138. The active case count is up to 1,681. Currently, UND is reporting 236 active cases, while NDSU has 19 active cases on campus. We are enjoying the above average temps, but keeping in mind what Hutch said about a cold shot coming our way. In the meantime, let's find out how this evening looks. Hutch is here now with your first alert forecast.
Andrea, thank you so much. We do have a few showers showing up on the radar, but our chances of thunder this evening, not very good, and they'll be isolated in nature. Right now, those are drifting through Barnes County from west to east, so hit and miss sprinkles right now. So we take a look at that live shot from the Dakota Magic Casino area. Temperatures in the 80s all the way beyond sunset. It'll be cloudy, as we'll have some clouds mixing in with the forecast as well. 8:19 the time of sunset here in Fargo. Grand Forks, likewise, increasing clouds. Temperatures that will dip into the 70s well after sunset. Now, we do have a chance at some overnight thunderstorms. They could be on the strong side. I'll have details on when and where those will be most likely. And we have some unsettled weather to talk about as that cold air gets ready to punch its way in. I'll have all those details and facts here in a few minutes.
All right. Thank you, Hutch. A 24-year-old man is now in custody after barricading himself in his vehicle in the parking lot at Fargo South High School. Michael Manuel Bell is behind bars for aggravated domestic assault, terrorizing, preventing arrest, and felony restraint. Police say they were called just after 6 this morning for a disturbance call involving Bell in the 2000 block of 25th Street South. They say they soon found Bell barricaded inside a vehicle in the Fargo South parking lot, Fargo South High, that is. After hours of negotiations, officers used pepper balls and pepper spray to get Bell out of the vehicle. He'll be booked into the Cass County Jail after being medically cleared. Authorities are investigating after a deadly officer-involved shooting in Belcourt, North Dakota. but a lot of questions are unanswered. The FBI says the shooting happened at a home in Belcourt late Saturday night and into the early morning hours of Sunday. Police identified the man who was shot as 35-year-old Brandon Lattiser of Belcourt. The FBI is not releasing information about the circumstances of the shooting, including the reason for the police response and how Lattiser died. The Polk County Sheriff's Office says they have received disturbing information about a website teenagers have been using called Omegle. Officers say kids learned about this site through TikTok. Investigators looked into the site and found out it's a chat and video chat format where you don't need an account. Within seconds of entering the chat room, investigators were sent pornography sites and were asked to have sexual conversations. Parents are reminded that predators use social media platforms to solicit, send, and receive child porn. It is that time of year when your child will be riding the bus or even spending more time alone with online learning. Does your child know what to do when confronted by a stranger? Well, Sergeant Derek Cruft says children should always tell an adult exactly what happened. They should describe what this person was wearing, what they looked like, and where the interaction took place. They should tell that information to someone they feel comfortable with, including an older sibling.
The importance of having a plan in place is being ready, because as good parents, we want to make sure that we always are looking out for our children's best well-being and having a plan in place so that if something does happen, we're ready for it.
And if your child is alone in the household, they should never answer the door for a stranger. The governor of Wisconsin is increasing the National Guard presence in Kenosha after a second night of protests over the police shooting of Jacob Blake became destructive. NBC's Wendy Woolfolk has the story.
Another smoldering city, this time Kenosha, Wisconsin, as protesters clash with police and each other.
Never in a million years did I think that anything like this would ever happen in Kenosha. Never.
Their hometown in ruins after...
Mom! 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 You have to get back!
29-year-old Jacob Blake was shot in the back by officers Sunday, leaving him paralyzed from the waist down.
You treat somebody like that, who unarmed, not giving you no problem.
Witness video posted online sparking outrage.
We want to continue to protest and get justice without destroying our own communities.
Police releasing few details other than saying officers were responding to a domestic incident that involved a shooting, and that the State Department of Justice would handle the investigation.
It's really heartbreaking. How can you destroy your city, your home? How can you do this? I honestly, I do not understand this.
Residents scared for the safety of their homes and livelihoods.
This is pathetic. This is pathetic to happen in our country, and it's in the state of Wisconsin, and it's just anarchists going around and taking advantage of the situation.
A situation leaving an entire nation looking for change. Wendy Woolfolk, NBC News.
The 3 police officers involved in Blake's shooting have been placed on administrative leave. Today, the North Dakota Supreme Court voted 5-0 to prevent the Secretary of State from placing an election reform measure on the November ballot. The Brighter Future Alliance filed suit against Secretary of State Al Jaeger and the Measure 3 sponsoring committee, claiming those who petitioned to get the measure on the ballot did so illegally. The court agreed with Brighter Future's argument that the full text of the measure was not included when signatures were being collected. Measure 3 sought to establish a ranking system on primary election ballots where voters select their first, second, third, and fourth choices and give the Ethics Commission official authority to redraw the districts. And be sure to catch the Bison in action against Central Arkansas on October 3rd at 2:30 right here on KVLY. We'll also have you covered with the Farmers Union Insurance Bison football pregame show and the coaches show on Sunday following the game. Take a look at this. A parachutist completed the world's first jump from a solar-powered plane today over western Switzerland. The 2-seater prototype plane made the test flight to promote renewable energy. The parachutist reached a speed of 93 miles per hour during his jump from nearly 5,000 feet. He said this is something that will change the future for the sport and for skydivers. In 2022, his team aims to carry out a high-altitude flight powered exclusively by solar energy. Still ahead tonight, a historic double threat in the Gulf. We talk to an expert about how the storms size up to Hurricane Katrina next.
The harvest in full swing across the valley and beyond. This from Hansborough. Rick, thank you. That's getting her done. As we take a look at the temperatures across the region right now, it's sizzling to the west. Your forecast includes storms. Details next.